Today we are going to be exploring the morality of meat. The question posed is, why do human lives matter, and why do non-human lives, such as cows, chickens, pigs, as well as dogs and cats, not matter? Why do humans deserve the right to life and the right to freedom, and why do these non-human lives not deserve these same rights? After all, humans are animals. Humans are Homo sapiens. So why do Homo sapiens deserve the right to life, freedom, love, and protection? And why do cows and chickens deserve a knife in their throat instead? It seems that humans pick and choose what animals or what type of life deserves love and protection. In America, at least, we grant dogs and cats plenty of rights, plenty of love, plenty of protection, while in China, they choose that dogs do not deserve these rights. In America, we decide that cows, for example, deserve to be slaughtered for our own food, for our own taste buds, while in India, they are strongly against the consumption of cows. So it seems that we are inconsistent with our morals on this issue. What gives us the right to pick and choose what lives matter and what lives do not matter? We need a principle. We need to be consistent. We need to not be hypocritical about what lives matter and what lives don't matter. So let's explore this today. What I'm going to do in this video is provide several examples of arguments used by people who believe that human lives matter and that non-human lives do not matter. And for each of these arguments, I'm going to give a few challenging counter-arguments. And ultimately, at the end, I'm going to make a conclusion and provide a new proposal. So let's get right to it. First of all the arguments, some may say that human lives matter because of how intelligent we are, and that non-human lives do not matter because they are not at the same level of intelligence as we are. What about the learning disabled or mentally retarded humans? Do they not deserve the right to life because of their level of intelligence? And what about animals such as dolphins or pigs who show very high levels of intelligence? Do they then deserve the right to life because of their intelligence? Another argument that some may use is that human lives matter because we have the ability to speak and communicate. What about the speech impaired humans or Broca's aphasia patients? They can't speak, so do they not deserve the right to life? What about animals such as monkeys or parrots that have been taught or trained to speak? Do they then deserve the right to life? The next argument that many people give in defense of harming other animals, such as torturing and killing them for food, is that human lives matter because we are human, and animal lives do not matter because they are not human. Well, this is a biological argument, and the truth is that biological arguments are not sufficient to make moral opinions and moral principles. What is it about human DNA, Homo sapien DNA, that is far superior to cow or dog DNA? What's different about the DNA that makes one better and more valuable and thus deserve the right to life than the other? Throw into that the fact that humans are the animal on the earth that cause the most hate as well as pollution, for example. And if humans were taken off the earth, all other species in the ecosystem would benefit or thrive. And for example, if ants or bees were taken out of the ecosystem, such insignificant seeming creatures, the whole ecosystem would collapse. So given these two examples, why are humans so valuable by DNA or by biology? Another argument that we're going to talk about is the idea that animal lives do not matter because they do not have a soul and they are not conscious. Well, first of all, it is not scientifically verifiable to claim that humans do indeed have whatever your definition of a soul is, and that animals do not have this definition of a soul. And secondly, how is one to argue that animals that play around with each other, love their family members, grieve, and choose what type of food they eat, how is one to argue that these animals are not conscious? How is one to argue that they are rote, that they are just mechanical and they just do without thinking? The next argument is that animals do not feel pain, and therefore they do not deserve the right to life and we have the right to torture and kill them for food, for example. And the truth is that all organisms with a nervous system can sense and feel pain. This includes cows, chickens, pigs, dogs, and cats. Hypothetically, I'm not recommending you do this, but walk up to an animal with a knife and stab them with it. What are they going to do? They have a nervous system. They feel pain, so they're going to scream. They're going to run away from you. Does that not indicate that they feel pain? I think it's ludicrous that some people will argue this, and what I say back to them is, I have an apple in one hand, and I have a baby chicken in the other hand. Is stabbing either of them with a knife the exact same thing? If neither of them feel pain, and like other arguments, are not conscious, you would have no disagreement with stabbing the chicken as opposed to stabbing the apple, because they're the same thing. They don't feel pain. The truth is that one won't do anything. It's an apple. It has no nervous system. It can't feel pain. It can't think. The other one can think. It can feel pain, and therefore it is going to scream. It is going to try to run away. That is the difference between plants and animals, for example, and why killing and murdering plenty of plants is not wrong and is not harmful, because plants do not feel pain. I have a whole video about this. The next few arguments are pretty quick and simple. The first one states that it's tradition. We've been not giving animals the right to life or killing and eating them for food for hundreds or thousands of years. Therefore, it's okay, or it's moral. The truth is that tradition does not mean morality. Hundreds of years ago, African Americans were not treated equally to white males. Slavery was a thing. It was considered normal. I'm sure if we looked upon that now, we can reflect and say that slavery was not moral. Tradition does not mean morality. The next argument is that it's natural to kill and eat animals, for example, and not treat other species equal to our own. That is an appeal to nature fallacy. Just because something is natural does not mean it is good, right, or okay. Killing is natural. We've been doing it for so long. That would be a tradition, but also killing has always been a part of humanity, or even of the world. Does that mean that killing is moral? No. Just because something is natural does not mean that it is moral. The last argument that I'm going to include in this video is simply, I can. I have the right to do so in whatever country I'm from. It's not illegal. The truth is that the law is not a moral institution. The law is a compromise based on conflicting interests. Just because something is deemed legal does not mean that it is moral or right. Using a similar example from earlier, slavery was legal hundreds of years ago. Treating another human being as less than a different human being from a different race was legal. That does not mean that slavery was moral or right. Just because something is in the law, just because you can do something in whatever country you're from, does not mean that it is morally permissible. In conclusion, these common popular arguments for not granting non-human animals the right to life and freedom, and therefore being able to kill them for food, clothing, entertainment, or other unnecessary reasons, are not morally justifiable. They are inconsistent in principle. My proposal is to consider veganism. Veganism values the lives of other non-human animals. It seeks to minimize one's contribution to the suffering and death of other animals. Consuming a vegan diet that does not include any meat, dairy, eggs, or other animal products can be better for one's health because of the reduction or elimination of harmful nutrients such as dietary cholesterol, saturated fat, and animal protein, for a few examples. It is better for the environment because the food that you're eating is lower on the food chain. It causes less pollution and wastes less resources. And clearly a diet that excludes the consumption of all animal products is beneficial for all conscious, sentient life that we share this planet with. So choose food that is loving, that is compassionate, that is peaceful, that is sustainable, and consider a vegan or herbivorous diet. Thank you all for watching this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you support this video, if you have counter arguments, I'd love to hear them. Leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.